Okay, so get this.
Okay.
I was reading about video podcasting the other day.
Yeah.
And they said video podcasts get like almost 50% more engagement
Wow.
than just audio-only podcasts.
Really?
It just makes you think, like,
Yeah.
is that the key
Right.
to like,
Should we all reaching more people?
yeah, should we all be doing video?
It's that much more effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to do a deep dive today on this whole video podcasting thing.
Cool.
And we've got a great guide we're going to be looking at to
Okay.
help us like break it all down.
Love it. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it makes sense that video is more engaging.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like, we're very visual, right? Like our brains
Yeah.
just process that kind of information faster.
So much faster.
But I'm curious about like
Yeah.
the specifics. Like,
Right.
why is it so much more effective?
Yeah. Well, this guide actually breaks it down into 3 main like benefits.
Okay.
Increased reach.
Yeah. Deeper engagement
Yeah.
and then monetization.
Okay, so we kind of already touched on reach.
Yeah.
But like, what about this whole deeper engagement thing?
Right. So like, think about it.
Yeah.
When you see a person like right in front of you,
Uh-huh.
like you can see their expressions.
Right.
You can see their body language.
Yeah.
You just like connect with them more
Oh, totally.
than you would if it was just audio.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
It's like reading a book versus watching a movie.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You just get so much more
Way more.
from actually seeing the person.
100%.
So that makes total sense.
And then you think about monetization.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they think about monetization with video, they go right to sponsorships.
Right. Yeah.
But I think it's so much bigger than that.
Okay.
You can do online courses,
Oh, yeah.
speaking engagements.
Uh-huh.
You could even do merchandise.
That's true.
You're building like a real brand
Yeah.
that people can actually see.
And connect with.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So, okay, let's say like I'm
Yeah.
convinced I want to do this.
Okay.
How do I get started?
So the guide says you don't need a ton of fancy equipment,
Okay, that's good.
but I'm sure there's like some essentials.
Yeah, what do I actually need?
You need a decent camera.
Okay.
Now, honestly, like
Yeah.
these days,
Mm-hmm.
a newer smartphone can do like wonders.
Okay, cool.
But the real key is lighting.
Lighting. Okay.
Good lighting can make even a simple setup look super professional.
Okay, that's good to know.
And then never underestimate a quality microphone.
Right.
Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
audio is still important,
Yep.
even if it's video.
Yeah, you can't have bad audio.
Exactly.
So are there any specific cameras or microphones that you recommend?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, especially for someone just starting out?
Totally. We can include some links
Okay, perfect.
in the show notes to some like reviews and comparisons for entry level equipment.
That's really helpful.
You can see what fits your budget and like your needs.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say we've got the equipment figured out.
Okay.
Now we need to think about the content.
Right.
Because if the content's not good,
it doesn't matter
it doesn't matter how good our setup is.
at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that this guide recommends for creating like good content?
Well, you got to think beyond just like talking into a camera.
Okay.
Like, how can you make this visual?
Yeah.
Can you use on-screen graphics
Oh, yeah.
to like illustrate certain data or points you're making?
Mm-hmm.
Can you use B-roll footage
Right.
to kind of break up the monotony of just like a talking head?
I like that.
Yeah.
What about like demonstrations or guest interviews?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Would those work well in a video format?
I think so.
Yeah.
Think about what you can show
Yeah.
that you can't tell.
Right.
So like a cooking podcast, you could literally show the recipe being made.
That'd be cool.
Right. Like a fitness podcast
Yeah.
could actually show the exercises.
Yeah, for sure.
And then guest interviews just become so much more dynamic
Right.
when you can see the people interacting.
Totally.
You can see their body language.
It's way more engaging.
Yeah.
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 The guide also mentions being consistent,
Oh, that's a good point.
like with uploading,
Yeah.
like just like an audio podcast.
Yeah.
You've got to be
Absolutely.
consistent
Because
to
it's,
build that
that
audience.
creates like anticipation. People
Yes.
know when to expect your stuff.
Totally.
They can rely on it.
Yeah, like they can work it into their routine.
Exactly.
Cool. So,
Yeah.
this has been a really interesting deep dive.
I'm glad.
I'm definitely feeling inspired
Awesome.
to try this whole video podcasting thing.
Good.
So for our listeners out there,
Yeah.
what are some of the key takeaways
Okay. Well, for me,
that you really want them to think about?
the biggest takeaway is
Yeah.
don't just think of video podcasting as like adding a camera
Okay.
to what you're already doing.
Right.
You really got to think visually,
Yeah.
create a whole new like dimension for your content,
Mm-hmm.
amplify your message,
Right.
connect with your audience
Yeah.
on a much deeper level.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's not just an add-on.
Right.
It's a whole
It's a whole different thing.
way of thinking
Yeah.
about your podcast.
Exactly.
So for all of our listeners out there,
Yes.
I want to challenge you to
Okay.
think about
Yeah.
what visual elements
Uh-huh.
you can bring to your podcast.
Love it.
What can you show
Yeah.
that you can't tell?
That's the question.
I think you'll be surprised
I think so too.
at what you come up with.
Me too.
So until next time,
Yeah.
happy podcasting.
Happy podcasting.